So I'm going to give you some reasons why you should be in favor of SOPA. A couple of my friends are blacking out, where they're not doing videos for the day to protest SOPA. But I've always been for SOPA, and I've explained why in the past, but I know people generally have short attention spans. So not only do I have to repeat myself like I would to a child, but I have to give some short platforms that you can comprehend as to why SOPA is a good thing. Now, let me first get it out there that SOPA is opposed by the 1%. Google is not the 99%. Sony is not the 99%. Microsoft is not the 99%. These are all huge corporations that practically monopolize the internet and own everything that has to do with commerce and trade. There is no possible way to get around these institutions. They circulate the money. And that is why people like Comcast and News Corp and Bank of America are in favor of SOPA, because their power is in question. It is not a, it's not big guys versus little guys. This is a trade of hands. This is between one big institution versus another big institution. And why would you side with the institution that has consecutively screwed you over? You could say that Comcast and News Corp and all of them have screwed you over too, but they have not screwed me over personally on the same level as, say, Google and Microsoft and Sony. Sony is the type of guys that compromise your credit card information to hackers and then just shrug their shoulders, oh well, no compensation, no security. There is no way they can secure their database that no one can possibly penetrate. But they can at least make it worth your while. They can give you free games, they can offer rebates, they can, lower the prices, or, here's an idea. Don't put your personal information on an account. Only use key activation codes as validation of purchase. Do not make it to where it forces you to tie that key code into an account, and if something happens to an account, you lose your game. But then they wouldn't make their money now, would they? So that is what it comes down to here. We either have a monopoly on information and on the news and on media, or we have a monopoly on our personal lives. And we can't do fucking anything without Facebook knowing about it and telling the world. We can't do anything without Google owning every website and being able to cut us off if they so want to. They have just chosen not to exercise that power yet. We are controlled in every facet of our personal lives. And in comparison, I trust Comcast and Bank of America and News Corp and all of them a whole hell of a lot more. Now let me get into the second point, that under SOPA, the terms of service that moderators love to tout would actually mean something, and they're afraid of that. They're afraid of actually being bound by the contract they bind you to. See, that's how a real contract works. It works on both sides. What they have right now is, these are guidelines. They're not real rules. Rules have consequences. These are guidelines to you not getting fucked in the ass by moderators. And there is no guarantee that following these guidelines will ensure your stability on that forum. And proof is, it hasn't for me God knows how many times. So, under SOPA, whatever guidelines they make become rule of law. And if someone violates that rule of law, it is up to the moderators and administrators to go to proper law enforcement to do something about it. But they're not going to. Because you know what a hassle that would be? Do you know how much legal fees and legal mumbo-jumbo they'd have to endure? They're not willing to go through that. Nor are they willing to go through it if it comes back on them as discrimination and unequal enforcement and, ignoring some people but then, jumping down the throats of others for mundane crap, which they do every single day. So it'll come to the point to where they will be accused of fraud and of harassment and of abuse, and eventually they will either have their site taken away or they will be faced with fines or something to that effect. The moderators will become the moderated, and they're not willing to put up with that. So now they're opposing this bill because they know it's going to come back on them, and it should come back on them. So that's why we should be in favor of SOPA. Because if you've ever been banned from a forum, Doesn't matter the reason. I don't care if you were trolling. I don't care if you were minding your own business. I don't care. If you have ever been banned and someone else thought they had the privilege to do that to you because it's my forum, this is why you should support SOPA, because it's not their privilege to do so, and they should be bound by the same laws as everybody else. If they claim they own property, they should pay taxes on that property. They should be bound by the same laws and regulatory systems as everybody else that owns property, you fucking man-child. So, that is another reason I support SOPA. Yet another reason I support SOPA is because internet piracy does not affect me. I can pirate all I want to because I am not selling those pirated materials. If I choose to pirate a movie, right now, I could pirate a movie as I am talking to you at this moment, and the law would not do anything because the law cannot contradict itself over a previous law. The Personal Use Act says blatantly that as long as I am not selling copied material, I can use it as much as I want to, and I plan to, but that is for me. That is not for me to make a profit. That is not for me to exploit other people into buying it. I am merely using it for me. And there is no reason why you couldn't do the same thing. There is no reason you could not still pirate and websites could not still prop up to allow you to pirate, because only some of them offer a subscription fee to get better service. Isn't that always convenient? And Pirate Bay is one of those, or RapidShare, or uTorrent, or things like that. The most convenient ones are big because they have made money to be big. But there is no reason you still couldn't pirate in spite of that. And that's what I'm saying here. That, you know, nothing is going to change about you other than positive change. It's just going to be like now, except you're not going to be able to be as moderated, and the rules will either have to be reduced to sensible ones, or that form just won't exist. Or, you know, you can pirate, but your big pirating websites will eventually get shut down or fined out of existence because they're using piracy to make a huge profit. And it might take you a little longer to find the pirated websites, but you will still be able to get the fucking pirated material. And yeah, the government can block out some websites and some pages, but as opposed to the private websites doing that anyway, they're blocking you anyway because they want to, because they feel like it. So I'd rather the government do it and block out the guys making instruction videos on how to make a bomb, or indulging on, you know, secret government military programs. You know, yeah, WikiLeaks would get blocked. But you just posting your asshole comments and using the word faggot, the word YouTube hates so much, would not get blocked. And that's what I'm talking about here. That is a responsible and proper use of authority and governance. And we don't have that in the private market, the free market. So that is why I militantly support SOPA. Even if SOPA does not pass, I will support SOPA. I will support the principle of SOPA. Until the day I die, I will always support SOPA. I will support what it means for the internet and what it means for life in general. What it means for me and you, what it means for big businesses, what it means for everybody. Because SOPA is not about, you know, anti-piracy. It isn't about coming down against you for pirating. It's about equality. It's about equal treatment under the law. And the internet has avoided that for how many years? It's high time you've paid the price. And I guess that's it. It's been almost 9 minutes, so see you later.